Hey guys, thanks for listening to The Cynical Nerd. Please keep in mind that we do not avoid spoilers for any of our topics, whether they are current or past media. Listen at your own risk. It's been a minute. I'm doing good. I got new hips. Let's just get into it. Let's just do it.
Two hips.
Let's get it out of the way. I'm a new hip man.
It's Cyber Derek 2023.
Cyber Derek 2023. Yeah, I had it's medically the term is called having a bad bone. It's called having bones that aren't good, and so they had to cut the head off of both of my femurs. Also known as the hip in France, and
for all you dumb motherfuckers out there,
and and they put metal ones in, titanium, and I legitimately don't know. I have a follow up in 2 weeks. I'm like, is this gonna set off like metal detectors for the rest of my life? Am I gonna get like shot in the airport because they think I'm a terrorist? I don't know. I imagine they would use something that does not get set off by those things, but
yeah,
who knows? I know.
Just tell them you have a gun in your thigh like RoboCop and see what they say.
Right. It's inside there. Yeah. I know if I was in a fight with Magneto, now I would be screwed. It would be over.
You should just like get a laminate like a little pocket-sized photo of like the X-ray that shows the implant, and then just like flashcards of people. You know what I mean? Right.
Exactly. Like it's a FBI thing. It like drops down like every time. Like, don't question me.
Yeah.
I have metal in there.
So much time has gone by. How was your Christmas?
It was painful. I was in a lot of pain on account of the aforementioned surgery.
So glad I brought it up.
Yeah. No, it was great, though. It was a great excuse to not see any of my family. I'd rather be just writhing in agony at home than go see them all at the same time. Let me clarify there. I like seeing them individually. I have a huge family, though. Everyone all at once is just, it's too much for me. So...
yeah. Overwhelming.
How was your holiday?
So does that mean that did Ron have to go because of Odin?
So the plan was that she was going to. And I ended up doing being a little worse off than we had expected. The first 2 weeks were really rough. Like I'm doing good now. I can walk short distances without the walker. I'm showering by myself, which was like, it's great because I just feel like a fucking just blight on Veronica's life, having her in the shower, lifting my arms up, washing me for me. It was great. Yes, it was liberating to take a shower by myself yesterday. First 2 weeks, pretty rough. And so initially the idea was, she was going to go around and see everyone with Odin. And the day before I was like, I don't know if I'm going to fall on the way to the bathroom and then just be on the floor for the rest of the day. So like,
and then the hips fall out. That's how they just come out.
Right. Yeah. They'll just pop right out.
Boop. Thank you for asking. My holidays were fine. They were okay. My son's been basically just a rotate. I know yours has too. Just been a rotation of sickness and illness. Yeah. He's actually sick like today. Although I do have to announce formally to the public and to you that he has started a new trend to which I can only describe as funny to me, not funny to Samantha. so
it's going to be funny is what you're saying.
I slept in a little Sunday morning. Sam let me sleep. I was up a little too late. Had too many brews.
Right.
And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, it's almost 10 o'clock. I got to get up. So I'm getting up out of bed. And as I'm getting up, I hear him coming up the stairs. And I was expecting him to come up and be like, oh, time to get up. Like I thought he was just a coincidence that I was getting up the same time I heard his feet coming up the stairs. Because he'll come up and be like, yeah, to bed, you lazy piece of shit. And I'm like, wow, from a 4-year-old. No, I'm kidding. He'll be like, wake up, time to wake up, daddy. And instead, he gets to the top of the stairs and he goes, daddy. And I go, what? He goes, I got a surprise for you. And then he plants his little ass cheeks on my thigh and lets out the perfect little toot, little burn. It was a great fart. A+, A1 fart. And he chuckles, he giggles at his accomplishments, and then goes back down the stairs. No good morning, no nothing. We don't know where he got this from, but every time he's had to fart, he could be across the couch, and he'll get up and run over and plant his ass on me and go, "I got a surprise for you." And he farts and then laughs and goes back to what he's doing. I think it's amazing. Samantha's not happy about.
I have to say, I do agree with you on this one. Mine is still like he just doesn't know what he's doing when he farts, and this kid, dude, for a baby, has like grown up farts. Like they're very loud, they're very forceful. And like it means nothing. Like nothing changes in his expression. It's the same as like breathing or anything else to him. He doesn't know how funny it is yet, so he just whenever he has to, he just does it. And it's like pretty much like babies and like your grandparents who have dementia are the only people that like they fart and they don't even know anything happened, and you want to laugh but you kind of can't. Well, when they're a baby, you do though.
Oh, 100%.
You can't laugh at old people farting. Not when they're around anyway. That's just mean.
Exactly. You can't laugh at incontinence unless it's in someone who's supposed to be incontinent.
Yeah. So yeah, the sickness thing is a fucking nightmare. There's a whole shitload of stuff going on with Odin, but the most recent thing is he has hearing loss. Like we had to get see an audiologist.
Oh, Jesus.
And he is like mostly deaf. He has fluid in his ear, like a lot. And they were like, does he get sick a lot? Does he like all these things that were like, like a checklist that we didn't even know was there. Does he get sick a lot? Is he congested a lot? Do you like hear him breathe? And so it turns out like some kids just have fucking fluid in their, like between their ears, nose, throat. And like, they just get sick all the time and they can't hear well and they can't yada, yada. So like this whole time
like this.
Yeah, like we've been freaking out because he never really like he doesn't respond to us a whole lot. Turns out this motherfucker just couldn't hear us the whole time. So we got to see an ENT and get tubes in his ears. But anyway, this is related to you saying that Grayson's sick. Same thing. We go like I think I said to you earlier today, like the 2 weeks that I really had a rough time after the surgery. Like by the grace of fucking God, we're like the only 2 weeks since we've put him in daycare that he didn't get sick. But now we're beyond that. And he's
his body's like, the holidays are over. Back at it, boys.
He's like, you're feeling better. You're about to feel worse. I don't feel good.
Surprise. Yeah. We have a short, succinct, I would say, toy TPS. So because we've been off for a while, so we kind of have like the greatest hits of things that we think we should talk about. Mm-hmm. Some of it happened recently. Some of it's, a couple months. Well, not a couple months, like a month old at this point. Same with the trailers. We have things as far back as like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Oppenheimer, and then the new Ant-Man trailer that just came out. And Beau is Afraid with Joaquin Phoenix.
Joking.
He's a Phoenician. Oh. People from Phoenix are Phoenicians. For this week's main topics, we're going to talk. Did you finish, Willow?
Today I did, yeah.
Okay. You scared me. It was too much of a pulse. We're talking about Willow, and we're talking about the first episode of The Last of Us, which just premiered last night on HBO. You heard it here first. I'm kidding. Someone else has probably already dropped episodes about this. But we're going to talk about that. It's brand new.
Was that the last episode of Willow? It felt like the last episode.
Yeah, there's only 8.
Okay.
As an asterisk to this game trailer section today, Mandalorian is releasing another trailer tonight, probably like right as we're ending our pod. Like I think it premieres when the Buccaneers game comes on at like 8:15 or something. So we're just gonna miss it. We figured we'd rather record tonight, talk about The Last of Us when it's still fresh in our minds. And we've already seen the trailer for Mando season 3. We know there's a cute, adorable child and a badass Mandalorian. We'll see him next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, as the kids say. So this is episode 89.
89.
And it feels good to be back.
89, and I feel fine.
Oh, love that. We're going to get right into it. Welcome to the Cynical Nerd podcast. I'm Chris. That's Derek.
Hi.
And we're gonna jump into the news. This is kind of an old one, of course, because these are mostly in chronological order. Hogwarts Legacy announced that it was delayed for the Nintendo Switch. Go fuck you. And then more importantly, the PS4 and Xbox One. So they're doing what Derek and I'm just saying, I'm not saying we're responsible for this, but I'm saying we're responsible for this.
Yeah, we made it happen.
There's our pure willpower, our cum power, if you will. Fuck last gen. I wish they would stop making games for I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Buy a new console.
No, I agree. I agree with you.
I
also like how you brought up the least controversial thing about Hogwarts Legacy right now to bring up on the.
Of course.
I shouldn't have even mentioned it. We should have just cruised right beyond all the other stuff.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either. I'm just saying. I saw that earlier. I was like, I saw Hogwarts Legacy, and I go, oh, really? We're going to talk about that? And then I saw it was about. I was like, oh, that's like the. That's the T-ball of discourse on Hogwarts Legacy. I'm fine with it. Just go on any platform, Twitter, Facebook. You'll see the arguments there. You figure out your own opinion on that shit.
Your platform of choice, any of them.
Yeah, no, this is a good move. Game, it looks great. It really does, and it's what should have been done with a lot of stuff. It's what should have been done with like Cyberpunk 2077. I know we've said that a million times.
1000%, yeah.
The last gen stuff is holding the current gen stuff back. If you need extra time to sort of backwards engineer a modern game, like if you want the best of both worlds, you want last gen to have it. Takes a little extra time to sort of like make it work on that aging hardware. Good for you. This is great. I think everybody wins. You're the people with their PS4s that sound like fucking Harrier jets get to play. You just got to wait a little longer. And people who are prepared get to play day one.
There's an important reason for that, Derek, and the reason is that they are in fact Harrier jets inside of the case. They use the same, thanks Boeing, the same engine from that aircraft. They're so loud.
They really are.
And I'm ignoring the fact that everybody on this planet has different financial circumstances and just blanket statement saying that you should just go buy a PS5. Just go do it.
Yeah.
You want to pay your mortgage next month or buy a PS5? The answer is obvious, and it's not the one that you think.
Yeah, it's not.
Unless it is the one that you think, in which case you've come to the right place. So the previously last gen versions were scheduled to launch alongside the current gen versions on February 10th. Like, holy shit, that's super close. Now they're being pushed back to April, which isn't really that bad. No. They're giving themselves 2 more months. The Nintendo Switch variation, however, will be arriving in July. And I gotta be honest with you, I am so surprised that they're even telling people that this can run on that Switch because you know it's going to run bad.
I know. And you're seeing more and more. Like, I was watching some like top games coming in 2023, and like 9 out of 10 of them were like every platform but Switch. It's like these fucking like game development companies are like, look, we're not even going to try. Just fucking just buy something else. If you're a Nintendo fan, get something else.
Yeah, if you're a Nintendo fan, don't be.
Yeah, don't do it anymore. Just stop it. Just make the decision to stop.
And that is all of the controversial things happening in the world of Harry Potter, and you should not look any further into it than that.
That's it. Everything else has been great. Everybody's
unless you want to permanently burn hate speech into your irises, retinas. I'm going to let you take the lead on this next one because A, you have more information about it in your brain than I do. And 2, I want you to explain it to me. I want to be taught. I want you to lead me into the fray.
I'm good. I really, to be honest with you, like, I don't understand this quite as well. Like, I haven't read every fucking new piece of information that's popped up. I know the broad strokes. I just threw this in here because I think it is a very, it's like a really big deal right now. Like it's.
I would call it, what's the word? Poignant. The word of the week.
Poignant. It's very, there's a lot of drama going on in the tabletop RPG world right now. If that sentence sounds embarrassing to you, it's because it is.
I was going to say, as is common. They're a very, very rowdy bunch.
Here's the long and short of it. There's this agreement that Wizards of the Coast, who made Dungeons and Dragons, did back in, I think it was like 2000, called the OGL, Open Game License, where it basically said they were not anywhere near as big as they are now, of course. Basically what the OGL says is this game takes place primarily in your mind. Like, we give you these dice and we give you these numbers and these stats and stuff, but overall what you bring to the game it's yours. You know, you are the creator. You're writing these campaigns, you're writing the stories, creating the characters, the names, everything like that. We're just giving you numbers to work with. And basically in this OGL, it basically said that you can make your own just as me and you, if we wanted to make an addition to 5th edition, we could do that and not be under any kind of legal ramifications from Wizards of the Coast.
Okay.
In some cases, you can even sell your expansions to it as long as you state very clearly that you are not associated with Wizards of the Coast. This is Derek and Chris, our expansion to 5th edition Dungeons.
The Cynical Nerd is not associated with Wizards of the Coast.
But we are not. We are not.
No.
Yeah, still we are not.
Covered.
Got it. First step taken. So basically, the most important part of the OGL was that written into this agreement was that it was irrevocable, written by Wizards of the Coast.
Irrevocable, even.
What did I say?
You said irrevocable? No, I think that's right. I just wanted to. I was like tomato. I just wanted to say it differently.
That sounds like something.
It sounds like
courtroom, though. I like it better.
Like that guy. That guy fucks.
Yeah. That guy owns a dictionary.
I'm gonna keep doing this with my eyebrows while you talk.
All right, do it. It was
his eyebrows fuck
written right in there that basically they couldn't go back on their word. The reason that they made the OGL is that they wanted to encourage people to play this game. Now, back in 2000s, D&D was not a big thing. Back in the 80s, even less so. Now it's really not like we make, I make jokes and say it's nerdy. I opened up with a joke about how it's nerdy. It's not like a niche thing anymore. Like, a lot of people are playing tabletop games. The most famous tabletop game is Dungeons and Dragons. So now they're going back on the OGL and they're saying, well, they said rather, that they will be charging royalties to certain content creators. They're going back on their word. The company got big enough that now it's more about money. I know they were like acquired by Hasbro at some time. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But it's essentially just shitty company shit. They assured their fan base that they would never do this thing, and now that they have everyone's money, they're doing the thing.
Surprise.
And so the response in the community is there are a lot of other tabletop games that have basically like come out, and even though Wizards of the Coast is the giant, they're basically saying, well, fuck them. Like, even ones such as Pathfinder, which is like the second biggest tabletop game, who exists because of the OGL, who are like, allowed to do. It's basically, there's Dungeons and Dragons 1, 2, 3, 3.5, 4, and 5. A lot of people loved 3.5. That was back in, I think, like the 90s.
Same.
You're a big 3.5 guy, right? I pegged you for that.
Oh, don't get me excited.
People really loved 3.5. So once they moved into 4, a company called Paizo made a game called Pathfinder, which is essentially just Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. Paizo basically came out. They wrote this awesome statement about how they were like, basically they just said like, fuck them. We're making our own open game license, basically to cover their own asses, but also to say, hey, this company did a shitty thing, so come hang out with us. A bunch of the other smaller guys did. Cobalt Press, I can't remember all of them. There's this huge banding together of basically like the non-giant tabletop gaming company saying, hey,
Good.
They fucked you over on the OGL and we're not going to do it. And they're all actually kind of making their own. And so then basically what happened, of course, was Wizards of the Coast said, no, we never meant it like that. You guys just took it out of context. I did have one. I'm not going to read this whole article because it's very long. But their opening statement I did want to cover just because it's so like, it's just so clear that they're pandering. Like, they're just trying to backpedal. When we initially conceived of revising the OGL, it was with 3 major goals in mind. First, we wanted the ability to prevent the use of D&D content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. Second, we wanted to address those attempting to use D&D in blockchains, NFTs, yada, yada. And third, we want to ensure that the OGL is for the content creator, the home brewer. So that third one is directly, you're saying the exact opposite of what you said. You were trying to take power away from the home brewer. And those first 2 points, you're just taking like hot topics right now and saying like, oh, we didn't want any hateful comments in our game. And we didn't want people using NFTs in our game. And it's like, what? You're just trying to get people to agree with you at this point. And by and large, that has been the response that people got from this. Either way, the damage has been done at this point. It seems like they are peeling back on some of their initial things that they wanted to revise in the OGL. But either way, at this point, it's just people are kind of like, well, you wouldn't have done this if there wasn't this massive online backlash. And so when you're only changing your behavior because people are basically pulling out their money from your system, it just doesn't come across as very genuine. So they have a website called D&D Beyond. This is the last thing I'll mention. It's a nail in the coffin for how shitty Wizards of the Coast has been. D&D Beyond. I never had an account. I don't really understand what they are, but it is a paid thing. So I'm assuming they give you like, I don't know, character sheets or something. Like I really don't know what it's for, but people in mass were canceling their subscriptions in wake of all this drama. And so they just like tanked the website, and they like made it very difficult to cancel your subscription. They made you like submit a ticket and then explain exactly why you wanted to, and it's just this whole nine. And it's like, you know, if you make a shitty decision and people decide to leave, you should at a minimum let them leave and stop taking their money.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've always loved the simplicity of Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of the other stuff is a little too like numbers heavy for me. And I've been a lifetime D&D. I love 5th edition. I've always loved Wizards of the Coast, and in the span of 2 weeks, I'm done with them completely. I've written them off, switching over to Paizo, switching to Pathfinder, and that's all it takes. Just a couple shitty, selfish decisions, and you can rob people of their brand loyalty towards you. So anyway, fuck them. That's it.
We should make our own open license for our own unique and completely independent and original concept. It's called Dungos Deez. And Dungos and Deez. Same. Okay, I'll give you the same acronym. Nothing else is the same, though. Right. Okay, you know.
That's fair. I like that.
That's all. I had nothing past that stupid phrase.
We don't use a D20. We use a D19. There's one less side on our die.
Yeah. You might think we're taking away choices. No. You'll be amazed.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
System, not to be confused with.
Yeah. Dungos and Deez.
Dungos and Deez.
While you were explaining most of that, I was kind of skimming the article, and towards the end it says many took issue with Wizards' seemingly petty postscript on the issue, and what they said was a couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won and so did we. It just reeks of like, I don't know, narcissism and just douchebaggery abound.
Technically, we both won.
Yeah. Let me explain to you what actually happened. And the whole situation is pretty well summed up by Paizo's director of marketing, who tweeted, "Hey Siri, what does gaslighting mean?" To just tell them to go fuck themselves. Yeah, I've it's no secret if you've listened to the Cynical Nerd before, I've never been into tabletop RPGs like this. I understand their importance in the very culture that I hold so dear. I understand the role that they played. And I know lots of friends and family who love them dearly. And I it's just another example of like, company gets too big. Their focus stops being on let's make an enjoyable product that everyone likes, and look, they're willing to pay for it, so therefore we make money, and instead turns to how much of that money do we think we can get from each of these people, and what are the easy ways to increase that revenue, because now that's all we're concerned with. So yeah, fuck them. I hope they tank. I hope they burn.
So I did pull up Paizo's, I don't want to spend a whole lot more time on this, but I did pull up Paizo's statement, and there was one part I really liked, and that is, we believe that any interpretation of OGL 1.0 were intended to be revocable or able to be deauthorized is incorrect, and with good reason. We were there. Paizo owners Lisa Steven and blah, 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 were on the Dungeons and Dragons team at Wizards at the time. It's basically Paizo putting their dick down on the table and saying, like, we worked at that company when this was written, like, we're aware of what it says. And so something I guess I didn't pick up on when I read this the first time is that the Open RPG Creative License, or ORC, which is kind of funny, which is their version of the OGL that they're writing right now, Paizo this is system neutral, which means it's not just for them. They're not just covering their own asses. It's applicable to any tabletop game that would like to use it. So yeah, go Paizo. Good for them. Genuinely cool move.
Very, very good. Moving on to the next piece of news. I have just avid listeners boys, girls, men, women, children of all ages. The saddest news that's ever graced the pages of this. Pages doesn't make sense. That's all I could think of. We're just going to roll. You know what the fuck I'm saying.
I'm with you.
Has ever graced your ears from our mouth holes. Henry Cavill, known honey, lover of video games and lifts and weights. I don't know.
Good looking fellow too.
Eating right, takes care of himself. Good for you, buddy.
Yeah, brown rice every day. Jeez, who could commit
Chicken
to
breast
that?
and broccoli. Ooh, gross. Can't. I don't like that. Yeah, right. He's got a personal trainer. He probably eats amazing shit every day.
He's got it.
Is unfortunately not going to be returning to the role of Superman. Now, this falls promptly in the category of shit that happened about a month ago that we haven't been able to talk about. I think we probably tweeted about it. We've talked about the James Gunn, Peter Safran takeover of DC, and we knew that things were going to be up in the air. We also discussed the many hardships that Gunn was faced with, where he's got sort of like a partial universe filled with people he didn't cast, telling stories he didn't write. And he was going to be charged with creating a cohesive story across all media for, like 10 years or so, I think was the goal, or something like a big old story that was going to, be around for a little while. And we were kind of speculating, like, how would you fit in existing actors in that scenario? Would Flash reboot things in a certain way? And the answer just quite clearly becomes Flash might still reboot things, but he is just changing the guard. They're going to recast Superman. They're going to Gunn himself is going to be helping to write a film focused on Superman, but he's going to be in his younger years. And it sucks. Cavill put out a statement when it was announced that said, basically, I had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and in sad news, I will not, after all, be returning as Superman after being told by the studio to announce my return back in October. This was when his cameo in Black Adam was revealed. Prior to James Gunn and Peter Safran's hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. Changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved within the universe the best of luck. He's just an all-around fucking A1 dude about it.
Yeah.
There's really no getting around the fact, though, that this sucks for a multitude of reasons. I think he was a great actor. I think he not only is a great actor, but he was really good at embodying Superman, and I think he had a lot of love for the character, which I kind of feel like is rare. Mm-hmm. Superman historically has always been viewed as like the most boring, vanilla guy.
Yeah.
Because he kind of is. He was like one of the first superheroes. That's what you get, unfortunately. It sucks. I literally cannot. I've looked at fan casting and shit. No one that I've seen with a name thrown around, I'm like, nope. That's not him. Like, no one fits. So
it just reeks of incompetence. Like it's the only way. It's the only way that right now, with limited info, and I get they don't want to put too much out, and it just looks like someone dropped the ball somewhere. And especially when they're talking about recasting, it's like. Recasting, he's like you said, he's perfect for the role. Like nobody who they cast at this point is going to fill those shoes. It's almost like if they were to recast like Geralt from The Witcher 3 or something like that.
Oh,
like,
I didn't even see it coming.
What was that guy's name?
You got me in a checkmate. I didn't even see it coming. That was wonderful.
It really did, but really, it's just it seems like
it's almost as turned up as recasting Geralt.
I just feel like there's something fucking weird going on at DC. I don't know. How do you people were so excited. People were asking for years. It finally happened. And then you let him go after a cameo. I mean,
yeah,
something weird happened there.
It's Geralt of Smallville. Okay. That was dumb. Yeah, no,
the image should now be Cavill's Superman with Geralt's head. I feel like probably.
That's easy. Done. Just in honor, in memoriam.
Right.
Rip to
two characters by the same actor.
Rip. Gunn released his own statement about Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. Apparently, they've pitched their concept, which is why they knew this answer. And, the only kudos I can give to them here is it seems like as soon as they figured out what they were going to do and they got the go-ahead, the green light from Zaslav or whoever's above them,
mm-hmm.
They went and reached out to Henry immediately. Like, they didn't want to leave him dangling. They didn't leave the news out as a question mark. They were like, look, I know they just told you to announce it, but this is what's happening now. It doesn't make it any better, but whatever. They're supposed to be sharing news about this new slate that they have built out this month. They said sometime after the new year. So this month only has about half of it left.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're going to hear something soon. I don't know. It's big sad news. This also followed developments of Patty Jenkins not coming back for Wonder Woman 3. So it just goes to, I would expect that most roles of heroes that will be involved in this are going to be recast, because if they're going to recast Henry Cavill so publicly, then there's, really no hope that anyone else will be sticking
What are you
going
to do? Hang on to Amber Heard after that? Come on. Can't lose her.
You're on fire today. It's fine. I totally forgot about that. Right after that, on the news of him out as Superman and Witcher within the span of a couple of months, Henry Cavill's reportedly doing a Warhammer 40K series. And I just have to say, good for you, but
for him.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit about Warhammer 40K.
I don't know the first thing about this. I have no idea what any of that shit is about.
We just talked about the trailer for the new game that was coming out and how much we're like, if you're into this, I'm sure this is cool for you.
Yeah. But that's what he wants. I really am happy for him. That's what he wants to do. I think like he's not only is he a good actor, he's good at like portraying roles, whatever, but I think he's just a nice guy and people like him. Yeah. So like, I feel like producers just want to like give him the projects that he wants because he knows that he'll bring life to them. So like I agree. I don't give a shit about Warhammer, but I'm so happy. He's always been outspoken about how much he loves Warhammer, and now he gets to like be in a project with it. I will watch it just because he's in it, without a doubt. Same.
This is going to be on Amazon. The Hollywood Reporter, and like the header image for this article is actually him in the Warhammer studios. Like he, of his own accord, before anything happened, and who knows, this in hindsight, this is probably the first time he went there to meet with them about the idea, but he took this whole studio tour of Warhammer, and you can legitimately tell the love he has for this stuff. And it's really endearing, because typically you see fat schlubs like Derek and I love this kind of stuff, love D&D, love video games. Here, this fucking marble statue of a human being who is like mightier than thou without trying to be is geeking out about these miniature. He's holding like a Warhammer miniature with like the goofiest shit-eating grin on his face. Like he's stoked about that shit. Anyway.
Good for you, Hen.
You think he's got a big dick?
I feel like it's got to look small in relation to the rest of his body, no matter what, right? Like,
is that the curse? Like, unless you're abnormally big, he's probably, I'm sure he's at least mediocre, right? But compared to the mass he's got on him,
it looks tiny. Like I bet like some people go like, oh, when he first takes his clothes off, and then maybe once it's inside of you, you're like, oh, this is pretty big. It's just like
maybe
when
once they get like a handle on it,
right,
they're like, oh, this takes two. I didn't know there's a top.
Right, compared to him, it's tiny, but compared to my hand, humongous.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Anyway, moving on.
Hey, honey, we're just talking about Henry Cavill's dick right now. That's all.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I bet you missed these conversations.
Yes. That is my subject.
Oh, we summoned her. That's what she heard. What was that?
Like, were you guys talking about Henry's dick in here?
Yeah, I'll be right there. All right, moving on. Moving away from Henry Cavill's probably massive penile structure. I actually took. Did you want to talk about? I put Kojima's movie in there, but then I took it out before we started. Did you want to talk about that?
Nope.
Okay, I didn't. When I was reading back through headlines, I'm like, you know what? We just talked about the game. Yeah. There's like no details about the movie other than it will be an original story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of things we probably didn't need to talk about, the next and biggest Tomb Raider will be delivered by Amazon. Cool.
No, you know what? I actually, I don't know. I did read the article, but I forget. Did Amazon like purchase Crystal Dynamics, or did they just like take the IP and they're just going to do their whole own thing with it? Or do we
they're
not
gonna
know?
They're going to publish it from Crystal Dynamics following.
And that's very exciting. Well, did you play the new ones?
Yes, they were
pretty good. Really good. They're like really well done.
Yeah.
So if it's still the same studio, but just with the funding of Bezos, it's kind of exciting. Hey, Sadie. She's looking the wrong way. What are you doing?
She's out of it, bro. She's fucking lost. Hi, you want to come say hi to Uncle Derek? You don't talk, but you could probably poke your... No, you don't want to jump up? Okay.
Yeah, I never played Shadow. I never played the third one, but the first two... Well, I never beat it, I should say, but the first two were...
CPS.
Excelente. So I'm excited for it. Gorilla
Grip.
Gorilla. GGTPS, baby.
Yeah, you know me. So while it's not necessary, like, of course there was going to be another Tomb Raider game, like, regardless of who bought the rights or who's publishing it, it's a massively popular franchise. What is cool is that Crystal Dynamics announced that they're going to be developing it using Unreal Engine 5.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Sexual.
I hopefully everyone jumps to Unreal Engine 5 so that our games look better and better and better.
And better.
And better. I was hoping you were going to, whatever. Jinx, give me a dick suck. Next topic. Listen, I blame
sucking.
Yeah, me a suck. I blame every single one of you listening.
I love, by the way, your term of sucking fuccubus. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I genuinely
it's like in here forever
appreciate that. I thought it was so very clever. And in chat, when I first said it, I got almost no reaction.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not the type of person who lives and breathes off of reacts to things that I say in chat, but it helps.
You need
right?
one every now and then. Yeah.
So
we all need a little
pick me
react.
Up. And when I got nothing, I went, really? Did I do something wrong? Guys,
is someone's
okay?
family member here a sucking fuccubus? Did I just offend them?
Yeah, I forget exactly the premise, but I said more a succubus, more like a sucking fuccubus. Yeah, I was very proud of it. Can I be the episode title?
I feel like it has to be now. Yeah, we've given it enough attention.
Sucking fuccubus.
And since it's the double C, you're technically not cursing in the title.
Right, we're not writing out the word.
Right.
You have to. It's your brain is the one doing the work, not me.
Yeah, you're the one cursing. You sick fuck. You sick fucking succubus.
And so, you sick sucking and voogin. Okay, so now I'm gonna blame all of you out there who gave money to. Ah, shit, Derek. Avatar's doing really good at the box office. Doing very well. Yeah. And like, it's closing in on the 2 billion mark already. It's already the top like 4 or 5 highest grossing films of all. Why?
I don't care. I love it. I love it because people are so upset. People are so mad.
Yeah, me. I have a very salty pussy right now. I know. Very not cool.
It's great. It's like people just forgot what it was like for a top movie to not be a Marvel movie. It's like they're like, what? How could this happen? I love it.
That's not why I'm upset.
Pure pandemonium. I'm not saying you. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're in front of me. I wait till you're away and then I start talking shit on you.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always around.
But people are like really upset about it, and like James Cameron is not modest about it whatsoever. He's being a fucking piece of shit about it, and it's making people angry, which makes me laugh. Like
it's fueling the flame.
I just love it. There's so much drama around it. Just a movie doing good. That's it.
You know what annoys me about it?
I still don't know one character's name in the entire movie. That's what's crazy.
Oh yeah, you do, because he posted that. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that on the podcast.
We'll share it on Twitter though. That's how.
Yeah, we'll probably. Let's just say it was the thirstiest of the thirsties.
Yeah.
Just brazenly and openly.
You're going to read this and feel like you broke a law, and you may have.
We might be breaking one by posting it. Someone just expressing their most inner desires to bang a CG character who's not. Anyway, you can know where this is going. Blue people. That's all I'm saying. Probably Rule 34 of it.
Blue
right
people
now.
blowing people.
That guy probably made the Rule 34 of it.
Yeah, that guy did not jerk off before he wrote that. That guy still had it in him when he. That was it's very. Just go to the Twitter, you'll see it.
But he did right after.
He couldn't wait any longer.
Typing all that out got him right.
That's it. He's drooling.
I can't hold it anymore. Anyway, it's made lots of money. Here's why it bothers me so much. James Cameron, love or hate the Avatar series, it's very mediocre to me, and that's why I'm upset that they're doing so well, because this means my man's going to be tied up for years and years to come doing the same boring shit. And I'd like to see what else James Cameron can do. That's my argument. That's all.
Yeah, he said he's like, oh, the third and fourth ones is when it really gets started. I'm like, what the
yeah, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Who says stuff like that?
Oh, my camera froze.
Is
God
that
damn it?
Is that because you didn't think the story through far enough and then just had a bomb idea for it when you were writing the third and fourth one? Because the first one's just Fern Gully. We all know that.
Right.
And, the second one, I don't know, but it looks like, yeah, I've read some shit online. I'm like, okay. It doesn't sound bad. It also doesn't sound great. Yeah, you're back. You're good. Okay, so moving on, whatever. It's making a bunch of money. That's all you need to know. This is actually our last piece of news. We're cruising through the news, and
oh god,
this one, you missed me. I missed you too. This last one is recent. This just happened Wednesday, this past Wednesday, and guess what? Ubisoft delayed another game. And that game was called Skull and Bones. The same one that's been delayed, I don't know, 5 fucking times. It's been delayed a lot. And the news on the street.
Again, Jesus Christ. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's fucking sucking and fucking you bussin'. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. It'll just, as long as the USB port's close to your hand, that makes it more easy.
Yeah.
Easier. Sorry, more easy is a dumb person way of saying that. Anyway, the word on the street is that Ubisoft is not doing well financially right now. We don't really know what the cause of this is, but they announced more delays for Skull and Bones. They've canceled a few games and announced some new cuts. And this is all due apparently to a disappointing 2022. The sales in 2022 had fallen well below expectations, and they said they would be taking drastic measures moving forward. One of which includes canceling Skull and Bones. You were so still for a minute that I was afraid it froze, and then you blinked, and I mentally went, woo, but now I just physically did it too. And they cut $215 million in costs over the next 2 years, with some of the savings coming from a smaller head count. So they fired some people.
Right.
What? Crazy animals. And that sucks. That's shitty. I don't want to see any developers get fired, and that's the part that sucks. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. I could give less than a one fuck about Skull and Bones being delayed, but things being, people being fired, and it's only Ubisoft's fault here. They milk, besides Skull and Bones, and even that's like a spin-off idea from a different series. Like basically Black Flag, everyone was like, oh, ship combat's great. And they were like, oh, is it now? We'll take 10 years to make a game and everyone will love it by then. But other than that, what do? They release a new Assassin's Creed every fucking year.
And it's the same game.
It's gross.
Far Cry, same game.
Yeah,
they haven't expanded on anything. Well, they're like, well, due to the existence of mega corporations, like as if they aren't one. Like you're complaining about yourself. Like, what are you talking? They're acting like everyone else's like greedy corporate capitalism is what's making them fail or something. It's like you guys have been like non-sneakily whatsoever trying to monetize even the most basic shit for your games for fucking 10 years, and people got tired of it. People got
banal features.
Yeah, even EA, which is still a shitty company, is like fucking leagues ahead of Ubisoft with the microtransactions. It's
mostly because they got yelled at sooner, but still.
Right.
I mean.
But I just read today, I don't know if this was in this article, that they sent out a mass email to their employees that were like, the success of this company is on your shoulders. You guys need to be working harder. And so all the employees were like, you guys look bad right now, and we're going to post this online so you look worse. Like, don't be a fucking asshole. You guys are making shitty decisions. It's not our fault. Oh, my God. Fuck Ubisoft. Ubisoft, however you say it. I don't know.
I always said Ubisoft? Ubi? The Ubi Booby? Anyway.
Ubisoft sounds like I'm hard, and I'm telling you not to be. Ubisoft, I'll take the reins here.
Okay. All right, moving into our trailers. Take it away with the trailers. I forgot to pull some of these up. Okay. First up is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Listen, I don't think anyone that saw the first one is not ecstatic about the second one. It just looks like more of the same amazing. And to even more extended. It looks like every different universe they go into has a different animation style. It looks absolutely fucking incredible. This trailer is stunning. If you remember, a while back they announced that the film's actually split into 2 films. The sequel it's going to be Across the Spider-Verse. I don't know if it's part 1 and part 2.
Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that somehow.
Yeah, I don't know if it was going to be part 1 and part 2, or if they're naming it something different the second. I don't know. Anyway, June 2nd, 2023 is when it comes out. It's not that far away.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's exciting.
I'm excited.
I just wish it was longer. Like normally I hate trailers because they give everything away. And then this one, like half of it was just scenes from the first one. And I was like, oh, you could have used that time to show me more cool things. That's Oscar Isaac playing Future Man, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2099 or whatever his name
Miguel O'Hara. Yeah, I don't know how I can spout that off without looking it up, but I can.
Yeah.
That's where I am.
You. That's where I am.
That's where I am in
where I
life.
stand.
If you were curious.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Next.
Yeah, I'm excited. It looks pretty good. Yeah, that's really nothing to say. I mean, the trailer looks phenomenal, and
yeah, this is another one that like came out quite a while ago, but we've just been off the air for a bit. So everybody's seen it. If you haven't seen it,
go watch it.
You big dummy, get up and go watch it. It looks incredible.
You really should. This next one is called Turok. I'm just kidding. It's called It's basically Turok.
Yeah.
Yes, with Adam Driver. Do you recall? I'm derailing for a second. Do you recall the Nintendo 64 Turok game? There was like a cerebral bore weapon where it would fire.
Can I stop you right now?
Yeah.
Never played it.
Never
played it. This is one of those big ones that just passed me right by.
There was a cerebral bore. You would shoot, and it was like a little seeker. It would stick to the side of the dinosaur's head. You would see excrement fly out as it drilled into their heads, and then their heads would explode. And when I was a kid, I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. That game was a lot of fun. Very, very fun. I picked it up, like, was it on the Switch's online emulator before I decided I hated Nintendo? I think it might be. And I decided to...
I know they made another one, but it like wasn't good. I think they did anyway. I think they made like a modern-ish one 10 years ago or something. Modernisha?
I don't know why I was fighting to say that in a weird fake accent. Anyway, this is a movie called 65. It's a play off of 65 million years, which is when the dinosaurs were here, in case you didn't know. This comes from the writers of A Quiet Place and producer Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
And I didn't see this coming.
And that's the end of the good news.
And that's the end of you didn't like this that much?
No, I'm sorry. Please continue. You say your thoughts first.
I'll say mine first. And then I'll know yours. This comes out in March. I mean, I like Adam Driver. He's cool. Yeah. It looks like a sci-fi show after that. And what's the big reveal? Is it going to be that like he thought he was on a deep space mission, but he just went back in time? Because haven't we seen that before? Well, that's
what it is. They get Planet of the Apes or a whole lot of times, but they they give the whole movie. I mean, the 65 title kind of gives it away, and there's like a dinosaur in the background of the.
But did they explicitly say it, or just like insanely heavily imply it? Because I don't think I caught a line in the trailer. But like they're clearly just dinosaurs. There's nothing special.
I feel like it's pretty like insanely heavily implied.
Let's just pause. It's right in the summary. After a catastrophic crash on an unknown planet, pilot Mills quickly discovers he's actually stranded on Earth 65 million years ago. Oh, yeah, that's I hate that.
Here's what I realized about this movie. Like, how can I like a movie like Moonfall but think that this looks stupid? And the answer is, the answer is because Moonfall was a great film. The answer is Moonfall, like, knows that it's a fucking stupid premise, and it's like
1000%.
65 is like he's like, get behind me. Like every shot is like he thinks he's in Terminator 2 or something. It's taking itself way too seriously for just a stupid premise. You gotta have a little fun, Adam. He didn't write it. It's not his fault. He's a great actor. No, I thought it looked really silly.
Yeah, I like Adam Driver, but weird choice for you, my guy.
Yeah, right? It is. Usually he plays like a guy who got divorced.
I was just going to say a divorcee. I mean, Byrne got him.
Fighting custody for his kids or something. Now he's like, whatever. All right, whatever. This is his Arnie face. I get it. Go for it.
Sorry, don't fish. Sorry, that was a bad one. Anyway, moving on.
Every time you do it, you say that was a bad one. It was never a bad one. I just want you to know.
Oh, really?
They're always good. Yeah, they're
Maybe
always.
I just hold my Arnold impressions to a higher standard.
I
Do you ever
guess
think
so.
about that? All right, moving on. Oppenheimer. We've been waiting for this trailer for a while. And I just, I'm just going to get right to it. This movie comes out July of this year. This trailer is beautiful. It's a gorgeous trailer. We've talked ad nauseum. Go back and listen to our reviews for Dunkirk. That we think that this movie is going to be pretty good. I have pretty high hopes for this film because he seems to do much better with historical topics where he's not the one writing the plot. He can embellish the plot, but I don't want him to write the ending. So it's gorgeously. He's never had a problem shooting a movie gorgeously. His films always are visually just stunning. He's got a very unique cinematic style. It's so funny because it's almost like generic, but I don't know what it is. I can always tell it's a Nolan movie whenever I see something.
Yeah, he does have a signature style, and he is a great like filmmaker. Like the actual, my fucking camera froze again. Actual like production value and sets and shots and all that is very well. It's just like his like Christopher Nolan humor. And like the fucking like writing that seems like it was written by a dude in college who thinks it's way smarter than it is.
Yeah, David Goyer. We know who you are.
All right, let me fix this here.
And your fucking brother, the lesser Nolan.
The lesser Nolan.
I'm sorry, it's fucked up.
Nolan the lesser.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
What if he's not? You how can you be sure? What if he's a piece of shit?
He helps write the. Yeah, you're right. He could be a giant piece of shit. I know that there's something I knew at one point knew more about Christopher Nolan than I should have for some reason, probably because of Batman. And I know that his brother is American. His parents, like, I don't know if they like split and like he had a step parent or something, but he's British. He stayed and grew up with one of the parents, and his stepbrother was over in America and whatever. That's why they have different
If Chris
accents.
Nolan was my kid, I would leave him in another country too, 100%.
Daddy, do you know what aperture this lens is? Oh, fucking Christ. Just kicking him off the boat. He's your problem now, America. And he just, as he's sailing away. And then for some reason we just hear sail in the background. And then it's over. Anyway, I don't know what I'm rambling about. This trailer's gorgeous. It comes out in July. I don't really,
does look good. It does. And it comes out same day as Barbie, and Veronica and I want to do a double feature, not a joke.
Oh, okay. Happy for Cillian Murphy.
He's
Nolan
excellent,
likes,
man. He's so good.
He really is. And Nolan really loves Cillian, but he's almost always in supporting roles. And here he's going to be Oppenheimer himself. So
yeah,
looks like he's going to do a good job from the trailer. Can't complain. He's got a real serious face on most of the time. And you would imagine someone who's responsible for technically for the deaths of millions of people.
Yeah. Cillian Murphy has very sad eyes.
Yeah.
It's good that he's playing Oppenheimer. I imagine, I don't know. I've never looked at him. I'm sure he had pretty sad eyes too.
Do you think if he had like a twin brother, his name would be Sirius Murphy? Sorry. Syrian Murphy?
Silly. It took me a second. It was pretty good. Yeah,
silly Syrian. That didn't work at all, but you got what I was going for. Yeah. All right. Moving on from Oppenheimer to a very serious film, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. We haven't talked about this.
No.
I posted the trailer, and we haven't talked about it. I've made my thoughts known about Jonathan Majors, who's playing Kang. I think he's a delight, and I can't wait to see him. I'm glad that they have, like, he's, from what we know, going to be like the big bad moving forward in the Marvel universe, at least for this next, couple phases or whatever. I like that they have a real person as that bad guy, as opposed to a CG construct that looks vaguely like Josh Brolin. If Josh Brolin had a nutsack for a chin and it was purple, I don't know. Stop squeezing so hard; it's not good for him. I really like Jonathan Majors. I think he's great. I think he was fantastic, in my opinion, in the Loki show. And we know that he's going to get to play a lot of different facets of Kang, as there's going to be different variants of Kang. Not 100% sure what that looks like in this movie, but we got this trailer and lots of crazy stuff happens. This Ant-Man movie, it looks larger in scope than anything Ant-Man before. it looks like a team up film almost. There's so much going on in some of these shots, and it's not. It's just him and his little band of ant
people,
adjacent powered folks. I don't know what you call them.
The Antmally. God damn it, my fucking camera. This is getting annoying.
I'm gonna title the episode "This Fucking Camera."
I'll stop saying it out loud.
No. I'm not. That was not my way of telling you.
I know.
It was. Yeah, it doesn't bother. I'd be annoyed too. We gotta. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is up with that thing. It's really annoying. But I appreciate you taking the time to fix it. I love you for that. Anyway, this trailer is a Marvel movie. It's like I don't know what else to. You know what I mean? Like it reeks of Marvel sequelitis, and I don't know if I'm going to like it or hate it until I actually see it. And I don't know that I care enough about it to see it in theaters, to be honest with you. I don't know. I love a lot of the actors in this. Michelle Pfeiffer's for one.
Pfeiffer.
Lovely mama. Anyway, how did this trailer make you feel? Did it tickle your pickle?
No, I thought I think it looks like I think it looks spectacularly stupid. I think it looks really bad. It's okay. And this plays into the whole like Avatar thing. I think that like you can like feel Kevin Feige sweating through this trailer, like that another franchise is doing so well. He's like, please come see this fucking movie, please.
Yeah.
The whole plot is in the movie. The entire plot of the entire movie is in it. It's like they're trying to ramp the drama up to like 49. Fucking yeah. I'm not fixing it again. I'm sorry. I can't keep doing this.
That's okay. I understand. I'd rather you be here to talk to me.
I'm making kind of a kissy face in this.
You are, which I really like.
Which is, yeah. So at least I'm looking at you sort of seductively.
Yeah,
I hope people really watch the YouTube
I'm almost there,
so that you can see, this really, really seductive face I'm making.
Yeah, just like that. Derek, hold that pose. oh. Well, no, because if the video, I'm not gonna like just have a blank screen there. We'll probably just do audio only for this one, but that's okay. We'll sort the camera out. Okay. We're coming back. We're coming back half strength. We'll be back full strength next week. No big deal.
Yeah. I'm gonna find my own camera and set up. So yeah, I thought it looked really goofy. It's like
real goof troop.
real goof troop. The whole plot is laid out in front of you. There's like the fucking. He's like. You see the conflict at the end, like, I don't have to win. We just both have to lose. It's so like, it just reeks of desperation to me. And it made me realize that like Marvel is in this weird spot where like for a long time, it was like you had your big movies, you had your like Avengers movies and your Civil Wars and whatnot. And then you had some cool down movies that were like maybe not advertised so heavily and like weren't so important to the overarching thing. And now it's like every single movie that comes out, they're like, this has to be the #1 movie of all time. Like we have to. And that's like any business now. It's all about growth, expansion. Yeah. And I feel like we're going to see more and more desperate advertising for every movie that comes out from here on. That being said, I am not above seeing this movie. Like I'm always in it for the culture, baby. I like to be a part of pop culture. I do. I like to watch all the new movies as they come out, the smarmy ones and the, popcorn theater ones. I'm going to watch it, I think MODOK looks stupid. I think that Kang looks great. I think that he really does look excellent. And I did get a little bit of goosebumpies in that last shot where he like shoots like photon beams out of his hands or whatever. He's like screaming like right in front of the camera.
Oh yeah. That was a good shot. Yeah.
But it's just, it's overly dramatic. And then like all the pieces of information that they're releasing about it, they just reek of like, please come see this movie, please. And I just want to see it get worse. I want to see it get more pathetic. I want to see fucking the directors crying as like a part of the ad campaign and like just begging us to come see it, snot running into their beards. I just want to see it get worse. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But no, I really hope I'm not coming across as a contrarian because I'm not trying to. It just looks so stupid to me. It looks really, really thick on the drama.
Thick.
And I think what made Ant-Man 1 and 2 good is that they weren't. Like they were kind of kids movies. Like they just were fun. I don't know.
Yeah, the first one's a heist film. The second one was, just like a kind of goofy, like looking for his I don't forget what the fuck happened the second one. I'm looking for the thing, and there was that's the ghost lady who was like the crazy that you're not supposed to fall in love with, but she probably bangs real good.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
Like
yeah. She's got that gorilla grippy. Yeah, super slippy.
A little tipsy. There's two reasons that I care about this film. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hang on, hold the phone. MODOK is in this trailer. I hope you caught that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did.
It sounds like it will be played by. Sorry, I forget the guy's actual name, but it's going to be Darian Cross, I think, who's the bad guy from the first one.
Yeah,
who played Yellow Jacket. It's going to be his big dumb head, which is a change to MODOK's origin. But like, I was talking about it with a coworker, and I was like, but who? Like, even if you're a comic book fan, which I am unabashedly, and I know who MODOK is, I don't know anything about his backstory, and I don't who gives a shit? Like, change whatever you want. It's a big flying head with little arms and legs, and you're going to try to make that work in a movie? Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you. And I mean that in the most contrived, judgy way that I can possibly conjure.
Right.
Bless your little heart.
He's trying to make you feel bad. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. There are two reasons I actually like this trailer, and one of them is definitely not MODOK. So here's the one hook, and this is just, again, me, Chris, being an overly emotional person, parent, is that the hook of this movie I completely bought into 1,000% right away, that he would be tempted to make a deal with someone that he's probably pretty sure is going to try and fuck him. But he's like, we lost so much time. I might be able to get some of that back. And that is heartbreaking because, in my opinion, one of the best underserved plot points from Endgame was that when he disappeared and came back, his daughter she's a woman. She's a grown woman. He missed so much time with her, 5 years to be exact. And that's heartbreaking. That scene was like, it happened so quickly, but to me, like, this, the emotional core of that character in that film is him coming back and trying to find her on the list of victims and not being able to. The whole sequence I thought was good. It told a really short, succinct story to tell you where he is emotionally in Endgame. And then you get that sad moment where he's just like, you're so big, because Paul Rudd is great at breaking tension with jokes when he shouldn't. And I mean that sincerely. And we rag on Marvel a lot for doing that, but like, Paul Rudd has been doing that himself in every movie he's in, and he's a lovely man. But so that immediately I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Like, I'll buy this. Like, I'm not saying he's going to make great decisions come on, dude. Like, really? But at least at the outset, father tries to get time back with daughter that he lost. Sure. I'm on board with that. And the second is just Jonathan Majors. I already said that. I'm not going to recant my testimony, Your Honor. Yeah. But
he really got gigantic. Holy fuck, dude. He is like a box.
I wanted to go back and watch Fuck.
Yeah, he was in like a boxing movie or something, right?
No, but he is. He's going to be in Creed 3, I think.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
He got Yedge. He got fucking Yedge.
Fucking Yedge.
What was I going to say?
You were going to go back and watch Loki, maybe? Is that what you were going to say?
No, wasn't Loki. Shit, I forget.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I said boxing. It threw your whole shit off. I'm sorry. I fucked up.
It did. It threw me. I didn't even know where I was going to be. Oh! What was it called?
Sometimes
Lovecraft
you just
Country?
gotta meander a little bit. Oh, yeah. I forgot that was him in that.
I never watched it, and I heard it was good. Yeah. And he was in it, and I wanted to go watch it. So I might add that to the list.
Yeah, let's do it.
That I'll ignore to run Mythics and WoW, because I'm going to do that as soon as we get done tonight. It's almost reset, baby! Gotta get those keys in. Anyway, moving on. Our last trailer, where we talk about our main topics, is Beau is Afraid. This is a Joaquin Phoenix-led movie from Derek's favorite studio, A24. I say that both ironically and ironically at the same time, to make a joke about you being a smarmy film lover. And guess what? A24 is a smarmy film studio. They also, spoiler alert, make awesome fucking movies. It's the reason they have that reputation. This trailer is insane.
It's fucking crazy. It's an acid trip.
No clue what's happening, and I was completely on board for it. I love it. I don't know what's happening. I want to see this movie. It looks crazy. I said insane already. I can't use it twice, can I?
I think I know the plot of the movie, and I want to say it here because if I'm right,
you're going to call it.
You have to suck my dick.
Whoa, buddy.
Those are the terms, and I get to come in your mouth. I
hey,
think. Siri. Okay, so the mom said in the very beginning, opening. Let's talk about the trailer first. Sorry, it's Joaquin Phoenix, and it looks clear. What do you say exactly? I realize this.
It looks fucking great. Go watch it, please. It comes out in April. I don't know anything else. Excuse me about it. I'll have another baby when this movie comes out. That sounds crazy to say.
I think the premise is this. I think that the opening line is the mom says to him, "I'm so sorry for what your dad gave you, but I really wanted to have a baby," something like that. He has all these weird hallucinations where he's being persecuted. He's like out walking. There's people with guns, people chasing him. Paranoid schizophrenia. That's my guess. He's a paranoid schizophrenic. He got it from his dad. He never leaves the house. And when he does leave the house, he gets hit by a car, gets kidnapped, held captive, and he's trying to escape to get back to his mom whilst having all these crazy delusions that aren't actually happening. That's what I think this movie is about. Watch it again, and when we're done, and tell me if you think I'm incorrect. That's what I think the plot of this movie is.
No, I did get what is his name? Nathan Lane. Yeah, I did get that. He's lovely too, dude. I fucking miss seeing him.
Veronica loves him too. Like when we watched it, she was like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen him in forever."
Well, I went randomly watched Birdcage recently, which is just a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Lane, Robin Williams. Go back and watch it. It's lovely. Anyway. Yeah, I think you're right. I remember in the film, he like wakes up from getting hit by a car and he's got shit. She was in The Office as Steve Carell's love interest. She's the woman, along with Nathan Lane. Amy Ryan, maybe? I don't, sure, whatever. I'm just guessing here, but her name is next to his in the credits, so I'm just going to say yes. And yeah, they're like, oh, you can't leave. And so I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. I think you called it. And the trailer looks great. And he really does. I
Joaquin Phoenix is a fucking joy to just watch act too. He's really, really incredible.
Yeah. And it reminded me that like they're filming Joker 2. And look, I'm sure it's probably not going to live up to how good the first one was, but like you can hope, right? Like I can hope.
Sure can.
I'm hoping, wishing on a dream, hoping on a prayer, praying on a, all right, let's move on. Main topics. Let's wrap this bitch up. I didn't shill. That's okay. It's the first one back. We're allowed to miss some things. I'm not going to do it now. Because I feel like if you don't catch them in the beginning,
no. We've got momentum right now,
people
baby.
Who are here, they know. You know what's up. You know what's good.
You know who we are.
That follow button. We should have a nice blue check mark on Twitter soon. Apparently,
yeah.
Everyone who told me that I shouldn't do it, and it'd be like, haha, I spent the money anyway. Jokes on my wallet.
Jokes on me.
Yeah, jokes on the money I spent for nothing. We're gonna talk about Willow as a whole first, and then talk about Last of Us. Probably gonna take the Last of Us chunk and like put snippets up separately because I know people will click on that shit, and I'm gonna manipulate your emotions. Willow as a whole series. We talked about this before because we talked about the first couple eps. So that's short for episode.
That's shorthand for episode.
If you're in the biz, that's how you know how to talk.
That's shorthand for business. That's the last one we're gonna give you. You have to figure it out from now on.
Yeah, the rest of these you have to figure out.
You have to fig the rest out.
You have to fig the rest out. I almost didn't catch that. Thank you for that. Yeah, this is pretty quick for me. Yeah. We've talked about Willow before. Overall, my thoughts didn't change a whole lot, except to say the final episode was a disappointment for me. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it was about the last one, but it didn't hit for me the way the rest of the ending was cool. I liked the ending, what it sets up. There's a little post-credits thing, I think, with the books on the shelf. I don't know if you saw that. If you didn't, I'll explain what it was pretty quickly. It's easy.
No.
There's like a little post-credits scene where it's like the credits kind of, you know how it's like illustrated credits?
Yeah.
It kind of like pans away to the book that it opens up in the beginning and closes it and puts it back on a shelf. And there's like 3 volumes of story, basically implying we're gonna be back with more shit to tell you,
right?
Which is fine because they really only fight like the first boss in the show. They get to the crone, and then the crone is like trying to make this harbinger of the worm and like resummon it. Whatever. The last episode felt a little fell a little flat for me. I you know what part of it is? This show has done a really good job for me of course there's CGI, but they've done a ton of practical stuff the whole show. And it really, I think, paid off to make the show feel good. And then the last boss is just 100% CGI. And she did not need to be. I don't feel like I feel like they could have did some of that CGI and just put somebody in a costume. And it really, what it did was it made it feel like a sci-fi fantasy show, like something I'm watching on the Sci-Fi Channel for like that whole section of the episode. And I really didn't like it. And it's a shame because I really ended up enjoying the series as a whole. Like the rest of the episodes, I like a whole lot. I kind of feel exactly the same way I did before. Like, I don't think it's an amazing show by any stretch, but it feels unique in that it's like, I don't want to say happy fantasy show, but like, you know what I mean? It's got like this 80s joy to it of like reveling in the silliness of it. And sometimes it makes it worse, but like it feels intentional. And sometimes it just feels really good and happy and silly and fun and exciting. And I like the show. Wasn't super happy about the ending, but would watch more.
WWM.
How'd you feel?
I thought it got worse as it went on, and I never really thought it was that good to begin with. But like, there were a couple things about it that were redeeming, and even some of those got shitty towards the end. Like, I thought the Borman carried like 3/4 of the show, and then he got really annoying and like self-referential and aware, and I just thought like his one-liners just got dumber and dumber as the show went on. It got really, really cringy towards the end with all the talk about like love being the most powerful force in the world.
And then they repeat it like more than once.
Yeah, like a bunch of times. It's like, oh my God, like I physically had to look away from the screen. The show is, all right, here's the thing. Despite that, like I'm glad I watched it. It's so hard to explain. I would never recommend the show to anyone. But
I'm sorry to interject. Did you ever go back and watch the movie?
I didn't, but I'm going to now. Like I want to by next week.
I'm excited for that part.
Shit. What the fuck was I saying? Oh, the show it's marketed for like young adults, teenagers. And so young adults, teenagers are just like unbelievably horny. And I understand that. I was once one of them. And so the show does this thing that a lot of shows geared towards young people do, which is everybody has to get paired off. Everybody has to end up with somebody. And so
everybody's fucking,
everybody's horny. And so when there's like this need to have everybody end up with someone, you end up with people who have absolutely no chemistry whatsoever, that you just have to endure these fucking scenes where they're together. That was every couple in this show. None of them like were convincing to me. And I feel like the show could have like
axed all of them
an easy like 20% better if it just like focused on the quest and not how everybody had to be in love with somebody by the end of the season.
These are just people questing together. They don't all have to fuck.
They don't have to fuck. I mean, they could fuck, but don't say cringy dialogue in the middle of battle like that.
They don't need to get together with each other. They can just run into a mystical suck and fuccubus.
Despite that, there were high points of the show. Like they did the whole, like I've said in the past, one thing I'm a total suck and fuccubus for is the whole, like, you know, friends rallying together. There was I think it was like episode 3 or 4, which was the first episode I was really like, ugh. And then it ended on a great note where someone was like, what do you plan to do? And Willow says, same thing as last time. Beat you with my friends or something like that. And that's right when they burst through the door and like stop the fucking wraith or whatever it was called. There was a lot of like, I understand what you mean. It's based on an 80s fantasy movie. Things were a little bit more corny then, and that's just sort of comes with the territory. I don't think that that's an excuse for how unbearably corny a lot of it was.
Yeah.
But ultimately it comes down to this. I'm glad I watched it because even though it's bad, it's like so unbelievably well funded and well made. So it's interesting to see.
It really
a show
is.
that like looks so good. That's like really not a good show. I don't know. There's just something weird about that. It's like, I don't know, like a B horror movie with like a fucking Avatar budget. It's just, I don't know. There's something jarring there that was, I don't know, appealing to me. I agree. The last episode sucked. It was really like, just battles that were not impressive. I did like the whole like totally ripped off of Iron Man sequence where she like activates the Lux Eterna and you see this really, really cool looking armor form on her body.
That was cool. Yeah,
it was. There's like some concepts that were cool. I like how the worm is this basically like HP Lovecraft god locked behind a door. That, you know, I guess the crone was trying to free to rewrite reality or whatever.
The worm.
Yeah, with a Y. And we're not talking about worms. Yeah. It's not Earthworm Jim. This is worm. Yeah, no, I would never recommend it, but I'm glad I watched it.
That would have been a great that would have been a good episode title. Earthworm Jim with the Y, and then I just had the Earthworm Jim's head coming up out of the door.
Right. What do we have?
But
I forget.
We have Geralt of Smallville. And the Succ and Fuccubus is the title. Yes. It's great. I love it.
Succ and Fuccubus is really good.
I'm really happy that you like it so much. I'm really happy that you like it.
All right, let's go on. Next thing.
The Last of Us just came out last night. Pun not intended. I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I like to famously put things out on Front Street, if you will. I thought the show was phenomenal so far. It's very, very accurate to the game, and that's what makes it phenomenal. The first, man, turning this on, I was just reminded immediately how overwhelmingly awesome the fucking story from the first game. It's what makes the whole game. Like, the gameplay is basically Uncharted in some areas. Like, the controls are a little clunky. They don't always feel the best. But holy shit, like, the story and the emotional stakes, the writing of the first game is what, brings it home. Of course, the famous twist at the end when our titular character, another word of the week, makes a selfish choice out of love. It's not something a bad person would do. It's something a good person who's afraid of loss would do. And it's such a complex choice with so many ramifications. You may or may not agree paid off in the second one. But the first one is such a goddamn joy, and the casting here, Pedro Pascal is just a fucking gem as Joel. I messaged Derek while we're watching, and I said, "Fuck, are you watching?" Because right when I typed that, I was crying, and I don't mean like a little bit. I mean like ugly crying. Like, I had to quiet myself because I knew that I was going to get a text from Samantha like, are you okay? I can hear you crying like a bitch upstairs. Yeah. She's never said that.
Because that's how she talks to you.
Yeah.
Quiet down, you fucking pussy.
Yeah. Send help. I'll leave my address and codes in the show notes. No, I mean, I mean, it really got me. It's been a while since I replayed The Last of Us, and it's been a while since I replayed The Last of Us, and holy shit! Like, when his daughter dies, whatever. And again, I think the show succeeds because it adheres so closely to the source material. But I was also surprised just how quickly we get to the modern day. I mean, it spends about half the first episode in flashback, and then the rest of it's current day. And that feels quick, knowing that we have a whole season of hour-long episodes to go. And that makes me excited because we're getting
happy they did. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting right into the thick of. I was really afraid the entire first episode was going to be the intro. Yeah. And then when it cut, it would be modern day. And that was the cliffhanger, quote unquote. But no, they didn't do that. And I'm so much happier because now, coming in episode 2, we're already out in the open world. They're already approaching the city and the skyscrapers where some of the coolest shit happens in the game, some of the scariest shit. And the last thing I will say before I ask your thoughts on the topic, the clickers, I think, at least in this episode, were genuinely creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
There's this one scene where he's running with his daughter after she broke her ankle in the crash, and they stumble around the corner in this back alley, and they see a whole gang of them just chomping on some humans. And the one that notices them, like, shoots and stands straight up, but it's like so eerily still. And the way they did it, I was like, oh shit, that's creepy as hell. Like, no, thank you. And that whole chase scene, they're running through the storefront, and it's so funny because it's like a human body being controlled that doesn't really know its limits, like when it has to slow down to turn a corner. So it's just like plowing into shit because it's going full speed to try and get to him, and then he turns a corner and it hits the fucking wall. And then he's going full speed to try to get to him, and he turns a corner and it falls over a bunch of shelves and stuff. It's horrifying, If you have that feeling of like something's chasing you, it feels like that would be your worst nightmare of all time. Anyway, I'm so sorry for rambling. How did you feel about the show?
Well, you should be sorry. First of all, let's start with that. Secondly,
okay.
No, I thought it was great. I actually thought it was really good. I didn't. Yeah. I see a lot of people on Twitter today that are like, oh, I went in with low expectations, and I really didn't. Like,
yeah, what? No.
I wasn't like, oh, I think this is going to be great. There was some encouraging news coming out about it, like, as time went on. Even though I think that Neil Druckmann is an unbearable person, the fact that he's like, I think he's a co-creator, right? Like he's one of two people who are, they split creative control, I guess. So like the dude who made the game should really have say in what's happening in the show,
which is fine.
And he does. So that's nice. I obviously I've said many times on the show, I loved the first one. I thought it was excellent. So like they had said what did they say? They worded it so strangely. And now having seen the first episode, I see what they mean. They didn't say we're not going to deviate from the game whatsoever, but they said like nothing will be that wasn't in the game will be in the show or something. Some weird way of wording it.
They like prophesized it.
They're like they're like expanding on certain things a little more, but like obviously the opening sequence of the game where Sarah dies is what, like 6 minutes long. I mean, it's like almost instantaneous that it begins, and then you're in the modern day. And it was 45 minutes this time. We see her go into the city to fix the watch. We see basically it builds up her character, and the whole time anybody who's played the game is like, she's going to die and it's going to be really super sad. And it was. We also were like ugly crying at that scene. That was really, Pedro Pascal is just a fucking great actor.
Oh God.
I didn't doubt his ability to like act and to like bring a new light to the role, but I was completely blindsided by just how well he did Joel. I don't think anybody can do Troy Baker's voice other than Troy Baker, but like I didn't expect him to emulate his voice, but his personality, his like demeanor, he fucking nailed it, dude. Like nailed it. Down to like when they're in the car. In that opening scene and they pass someone and Tommy's like, they have a kid. And he's like, it's nothing at all. Like, well, we have a kid. Someone else will come. Keep going. Was just like fucking quintessential Joel. You
can tell that he's lying to himself and he's making himself believe it so that he can keep going.
Right. Cause he's like, just focused on his kid. And
he's
then
like, someone else will come along. And you're like, oh, but they won't, but okay. We see what you're doing.
But it's like, so that some things are different, but it retains the soul of the message of the game. So like, remind me, I don't think that he was a drug dealer in the game, right? I don't think that was a thing.
No, I don't think so.
But it shows it's the soul of it is still there. It's like generally with the protagonist, you have like an honorable, truthful person, and Joel is, he's morally gray. So it's still communicating the exact same thing. So that to me doesn't feel like it really deviates from the game, even though like, that didn't happen in the game. He wasn't selling pills to the federal officers.
He might have been. I honestly haven't played the game in a while.
Right. It's been a while, but
has it? Oh no. Been a while. I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was great, and I think everybody seems to think that it was. I actually was saying to Veronica earlier, it's funny because in the weeks leading up to this, all the gaming groups that I'm in that are just full with people who are full of themselves have been just shit talking this show. And all of them are just fucking radio silent today because the show was good. And it seems pretty unanimous. People feel that way. I said to Veronica, who like really has never had much interest in the games. I told her that when part 1 comes out on PC in March, I was going to get it for her. I was like, we were getting towards the end of the episode. I'm like, man, this just makes me want to play the game again. But now I have to wait till March. And she's like, this makes me want to play the game. Like we were super into it.
It's very good.
And the last thing I have to say is just the very end. Dude, his little like PTSD thing when like the fucking Fedra dude is like pointing his gun at him and he has a flashback to the whole thing with Sarah and he just savagely beats the shit out of him. Again,
I can't wait.
That's just Joel, just like anger bursting.
Give me more of that.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
It was very well communicated, and usually when they hit you over the head with something like that, and they actually flash back, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
but it didn't feel egregious there. It felt just the right amount of like, hey, you guys need to know that although 20 years have passed, like he's still emotionally fucked up because of what happened. And you would be too. He lost his daughter in a horrific way.
Ooh, and fucking ending the episode on "Never Let Me Down Again" by Depeche Mode was just
great song choice,
especially
100%.
within the context of '80s songs meaning danger. It was just like a double. I was like, that was such a fucking great way to end a debut episode. Oh my god.
So you brought up the acting of Pedro Pascal and the scene of his daughter dying, and that scene in particular, I always I try to look for, well, obviously I've never been through a situation like that, but I always look for what I would think would be a realistic human reaction to some horrible tragedy like that. And the only 2 times that I could think of, I'm sure there are more that I've come across and just not memorized, where I've seen a human react what I would say honestly to a situation like that, were Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That movie might be shit, but Andrew Garfield's acting when Gwen Stacy dies is I cannot watch it without crying. It is so fucking well done. And I think sure, 80% of that is that Garfield's a pretty good actor, but the other 20% is that they were dating in real life then, and I 100% guarantee he channeled those feelings, because I literally cannot watch it without crying, and not like, oh, this is sad, but I've seen it before. Ugly crying almost every time. And I really felt that again when he was holding his daughter. Tremendous job by Pedro. The helplessness on his face of I can't do anything about this. His logical brain is going, she's dead, but he's talking to her I'm gonna pick you up, or it's gonna be okay, and you know that's not true, so you're telling her as much for yourself as you are for her, trying to ease the pain. It's just, it was so fucking good. I know we're talking about Pedro a lot, but I want to give kudos to Bella Ramsey. I gotta be honest, she was
wonderful. You're right, I should have brought that up. She really did. She did a great job.
I don't like her as an actor. I do not. And as a person, sorry, let me rephrase. I feel like I wouldn't like her if I knew her in real life. Is that fucked up? Sure. 100% it is. It's just the way I feel. I can't help it. However, I will say, not only is she great in the show, she captures Ellie so perfectly.
Very well.
There were some moments when I rewound it and closed my eyes because she sounded so much like the character in the game that I thought that they just dubbed a fucking line in. Her foul mouth, the use of saying quantum motherfuckers. I knew she nailed it right away, because she's in the room being held by the fireflies, and they tell her to count, and she goes 1 through 10, and she goes 7, 8, fuck you. And I was like, oh dude, this is perfect. This is perfect writing. They're capturing the game and the characters so well. And honestly, the last thought that I would leave this conversation with is, I hope that other things that try to adapt video games take this into account. And I'm not saying this template would work for everyone. The story was already, as far as video games go, very grounded in emotion and characters first and foremost, which is why I think it's translating so effortlessly to a TV show. But there is a right way and a wrong way to adapt stuff, and they're hitting the nail on the head right now. And I literally cannot wait for next week. Sam, unfortunately, couldn't. She wanted to watch this with me, and she couldn't because Grayson is sick, and the poor kid was coughing, just a dry cough, but he was coughing so much last night that he almost threw up because he was coughing. So she's like, I'm going to keep him on the couch for me tonight. And I was like, oh, okay, well, all right. I have to watch the show because we get to talk about it tomorrow, and the podcast is more important than the relationship. But I mean, if you, I am 100% kidding. Samantha is the best part of my fucking life. Anyway, but I'm going to have to rewatch it with her, and I can't wait to even rewatch it. I'm stoked to introduce her because she knows, just from me having played it, how well received it was and how much I was gushing about it at the time. And that's it. That's all I got. We're done.
Goodbye.
I'm glad your new hips held up.
Yeah, they're screaming at me, but I'm good.
Yeah, go rest them up. We had a tight hour and 30 minutes, right on the fucking nail on the fucking head. I'm happy we're back. I really miss talking to you every week. I love you a lot.
I love you too.
And we'll get the webcam thing fixed for next week, and be back in both forms. Selfishly, this makes things easier for me because I only have to put up an audio version. That's way easier. So we'll see you guys next week for episode 90, and then we only have 10 more until we hit 100, which seems fucking crazy
Our centennial.
in hindsight.
Yeah.
And we're going to think of something cool. We got to do something cool. Either for
we're gonna have our
the 100th
dicks. We're gonna have our
episode-
fucking dicks out the entire time.
the thumbnail will actually be our dicks. That's all we're doing.
And we're not gonna Photoshop them next to each other. We're gonna mash our dicks together, and then someone's gonna take a picture.
Derek's gonna be the 1, and then I'm gonna use my balls for the zeros. Oh my god. Anyway, we're gonna go. Derek, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD. And you, Christopher, where can they find you on the internet?
They can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Crispy Mana. I haven't done that in a while. Almost said TCM Plays. CRISPYMANA. MANA. Yeah, I said that right. Holy shit, that was quick.
CRISPYMANA. That's your theme song.
I like the refrain at the end because you had already gone through the whole melody for Crispy. I haven't been streaming a ton, but I have been streaming again, and I'm going to keep doing it. That's all I got. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.